Hi guys, in this session, we will be discussing on how to do data visualization by using Python. But before we proceed in details, let me introduce to you, first thing first, what is Python programming? So, Python programming is actually one of the world fastest and world most popular programming language that was used. This is due to the fact that Python is easy to interpret, easy to read the code. It is an object-oriented. Python is also a high-level language, high-level programming language. It is very dynamic. It can be used for various reasons, various purpose. You can use Python for web development. You can use Python for data analytics. We can use Python for a lot of things. So that's one of the reasons why Python are so popular. Python is simple, easy to learn the syntax, and also emphasis on the readability compared to, well, if you want to compare with other programming languages. Python also supports module and packages. Python run with a vast collections of packages. But first thing first, but I think sorry, not first thing first. Python is also, it didn't require any compilation steps. The test edit cycle is very easy. Uh, you can easily debug the code. Like very easy. It will show to you directly which line that has an error. If we compare to C, previously you learned about C++, right? If you compare between Python and C++, in Python, the debug process way easier compared to C++. Next, let's talk about who uses Python programming. Okay, so there again, as I said, there are a lot of people, a lot of professionals that use Python. For example, Python can be used by software engineers. It can be used as a mathematician or statistician like you yourselves. It can be used by the data analyst to do data analysis process, or maybe data scientist, um, by an accountant. Accountant can also use the Python programming if they know how to, by the scientists themselves. Okay, um, and many more. It can be used by the network engineers. It can be used by a lot of other peoples, a lot of professionals. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. What are the company that uses Python? So here, as you can see on the display, these are some of the various company that use Python in their business. Here, okay, let me move my cursor. Can you see my cursor? Okay, here we have YouTube here, we have eBay, one we have here is Dropbox. Okay, these are some of the company that uses Python in their business. Okay, so we talk about what is Python, we talk about which companies that uses Python, we talk about who's the professional that uses Python. Now let's take a look at the Python application. Where can Python be applied? So Python can be applied for web development, for website development. It can be used as a GUI. GUI stands for graphical user interface. It can also be used for scientific calculation, for scientific and numerical calculation, hence mathematician or statistician. It can be used for as a software development, so hence the software engineer. It can be used as for education purposes, business application, designing games, network programming, and various other things. Okay, these are some of the Python application lah. So why Python programming are so popular? Again, as I said earlier, the syntax in Python is very easy to read, okay, readable, very easy to debug, very easy to, senang cakap mudah lah kan, okay. So Python is very easy to learn. Even a primary school student can learn Python as well. I know for a fact that I had this session with one of the training company in Singapore, and they mentioned that they even have a trainer, a high school trainer, sorry, primary school trainer learn on Python. How cool is that, right? So meaning to say that you don't have to be an adult or a university student or somebody to learn Python. Even the high school, even primary school student can also learn Python and can write code using Python. Okay, so it is easy to learn. Of course, Python is free and open source. This is an open source programming language, so everybody can can simply use it. Um, it has a large standard library. It has a large community support, whereby when you're having a problem in Python, you can simply go online and ask for help. There will be plenty of solution available online by the community who uses Python compared to other programming languages. Python also support cross-platform. It can be used at various platform. Okay, what are those? We will talk about that in details later. Python also support in solving complex programming with fewer line code, and it requires very short amount of time to run the code. Okay, to run the coding. Python is also a multi-purpose programming languages that can support various applications in various areas using simple and beginner-friendly syntax. Python can be it can be integrated by various other programming languages. Okay, if you are really looking forward for that, it can be used. You can hybrid uh, Python with C. If you are doing big data, you can hybrid Python with Spark, became PySpark. You can hybrid Python with Java. Hybrid Python and Java, it has some other name in which I cannot remember. It also have a hybrid between Python and C. Those are the things. Those are the features in Python, which make it very popular. Okay. So another thing that this is completely tak ada relation to your class, but let me tell you, let me show to you, okay, what are the most popular programming languages that are available out there that the employee actually looking for. We can see here, JavaScript still remain as the popular one. This one is this graph is made based on the survey in 2019. Yeah, 2019, just last year. So here we have JavaScript, we have HTML, CMS. HTML, CMS is the language to develop a web. SQL is the language for the database. And then you can see Python. Okay, JavaScript, Java, it just those are in the same family but with different purposes. PowerShell, C Sharp. You do have a basic knowledge about C++, but hey, the percentage is about 23% only. Go, I learn about Go. No, I didn't learn about Go, but I did take a look about Go before, but I never really get into it, so I have no idea. Next, let's talk about the top playing and most popular programming languages in 2020. Okay, this is the most recent result. If we can see, if we want to rank the most popular programming languages by the average salary, you can see that the Python ranked first with the annual salary of about $190,000. So, which is a lot. If you want to rank the programming languages by the job opening, okay, volume of job opening, which is which programming languages that was sought most by the companies, we can see that Python also ranked first with an average of 50,000 of job opening looking for a Python programmer. So not too late to learn about Python. Okay, bukan kita saja-saja campakkan Python kat dalam subjek ni. Okay, so yeah. Okay. What is Python for Anaconda? Remember last few weeks I told you I specifically asked you to install Anaconda. You have to go to www.anaconda.com and I told you to download Anaconda and install Anaconda. So what is Anaconda for Python? I asked you to download Anaconda, but now we're talking about Python. What are those? Okay. So Anaconda is actually a platform to run Python. You can use Anaconda to run R as well. Okay, R is another programming language. Python is another programming language. So as you can see here, we have PyCharm. We have this one is a CMD. Okay, no, GlueViv, JupyterLab, Notebook, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, R. This one is a Qt console, PowerShell. Okay, what are those? PyCharm is another programming language of Python. PyCharm is a Python programming languages, but using PyCharm as the IDE. Here is a Jupyter. Jupyter is also using Python as the programming languages, but the Jupyter Lab is the IDE. Okay, same thing goes to the Jupyter Notebook, same thing goes to the Spider. These are the Python. These are the IDE that uses Python as their programming languages. Whereby Orange, if I'm not mistaken, this one is for data visualization, and also same thing goes to GlueViv. This one is a data visualization. I have no idea what are those because I never get my hands into that. If you are interested, maybe we can try explore some. As for this one is the R Studio. You have R, you use R before. That one is just R. You can also use R Studio. R and R Studio is practically the same. It's just that one is just an editor, the another one is the studio. It has everything. Okay. For the purpose of this class, I will be using Jupyter Notebook. Most of the time we'll be using Jupyter Notebook, but you can also use Spider. The difference between those only Jupyter Notebook is a web base. Okay, Jupyter Notebook is a web base, but it runs locally in your machine, whereby Spider, the environment of Spider is similar to R. That's all. And I don't think they have any syntax differences. I'm not sure. To my knowledge, I never come across with syntax difference between Jupyter Notebook and Spider. So that's all. Okay. Okay. Now we talk about. I give you a brief introduction of Python. Now, drum roll. And this is the time to get your hands dirty using Python. Okay. Right. In the next video, I will be showing to you details on Python. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.